All right, today we are diving deep. We're going to tackle one of those questions that seems kind of simple on the surface, but it actually gets to the very heart of what our universe is made of. We're going to look at the relationship between energy and matter, and we'll use a little logic to really figure out how reality is put together.
So, here it is, the ultimate cosmic chicken or egg question. What came first? Was it a universe of pure energy that then somehow cooked up matter? Or was it the other way around? It's a huge question, but stick with me, because the answer is going to reveal something really profound about how our universe is built, literally, from the ground up.
Okay, to even begin to answer that, we need a tool. We need a solid, logical way to figure out if one thing really comes before another. And that tool is a concept called precedence. It's a pretty straightforward but powerful rule that helps us see the true order of things.
So here's how precedence works. It's not just about what shows up first on a timeline. It's about a strict one-way street of dependency. Think about it. If you have X and Y, and X precedes Y, that means Y absolutely cannot exist without X. But, and this is the important part, X is totally fine on its own. It doesn't need Y at all. That one-way relationship is everything.
Let's make this real. Let's take it to the quantum world. Picture the quantum field as this enormous, calm ocean that's just there. A particle, then, is like a little wave that pops up on the surface of that ocean for a moment. Now, that wave can rise up and then flatten back out, completely disappearing. But the ocean, the field, it's still there. The particle needs the field, but the field doesn't need the particle. See? The quantum field precedes the particle. The rule works perfectly.
Okay, so we've got our rule of precedence, and we've seen it work beautifully. So now for the main event. Let's use this tool on our big mystery. Energy versus a particle of matter. Does one come before the other? Well, this is where things get really, really interesting.
And here we go. This is the moment our rule hits a wall, a big one. We ask the question, can a particle exist without energy? Nope, not a chance. Okay, what about the other way? Can energy exist without the particle? Again, no. In this context, they're completely tied together. It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way dependency. They need each other. And just like that, our powerful rule of precedence completely breaks down. It just can't give us an answer here.
This isn't just some logical puzzle. It's a fundamental truth about physics. At that tiny quantum level, a particle literally is a concentrated blip of energy. They aren't two separate items where one causes the other. Think of them as two sides of the very same coin. They pop into existence together as inseparable manifestations. Which means, maybe our whole question, what came first, is the wrong question to be asking in the first place.
So if the relationship isn't about coming before, then what is it? Well, this leads us to a new and I think much more powerful idea, a concept called grounding. And this isn't about a sequence, not at all. It's about the foundation. It's about what makes something possible to begin with.
To really get a feel for grounding, just think about a nuclear reaction. Imagine the core of a star. It's just this chaotic mess where particles are constantly changing, transforming, and even disappearing, becoming totally different particles. The actual matter is in constant flux.
But in all of that chaos, with all those particles shape-shifting and vanishing, what's the one thing that remains perfectly constant? The total amount of energy. It's always conserved. The particles can come and go, but the energy just remains. It's the one constant through all that change.
And right there, that's the big aha moment. Energy doesn't come before matter. Energy is the foundation for matter. It's the stage on which particles and fields get to play their parts. They emerge from it, and they can dissolve back into it. Energy is the very thing that makes them possible. In other words, energy grounds matter.
So let's lock this idea down. Grounding is all about a foundational relationship. X is the underlying basis for Y. Now notice the huge difference from precedence. They can show up at the exact same time, but Y is completely dependent on X for its very existence. You could say X is the canvas and Y is the painting on it. You can't have the painting without the canvas.
I love this analogy. It makes it so clear. Think about the concept of existence itself. Does existence come before a chair? Of course not. That sounds ridiculous. Existence is the very condition that allows the chair, or you, or me, or anything to exist at all. It's the ground for it. And in the very same way, energy is the condition that allows a particle to be. So, we've unpacked these two really different but super important ideas.
Let's just put them side by side so we can get a really clear, new map of how the quantum world is actually pieced together.
Okay, let's nail this down. On one hand, you have precedence. That's your simple A comes before B relationship. And we saw that with the quantum field and the particle. The field comes first. But on the other hand, you have grounding. That's a is the basis for B relationship. And that's what we see with energy. Energy is the fundamental basis for both the field and the particle.
All right, let's do a super quick recap. If you take away anything from this, let it be these points. Number 1, the quantum field precedes the particle. It comes first. Number 2, energy does not precede the particle. They show up together. And why? Because, number 3, energy grounds both the field and the particle. It's their foundation. And that leads to the biggest takeaway: grounding is about the foundation of reality, not the sequence.
And that, of course, brings us to an even bigger, even crazier question. We've just established that everything we see, all the particles and fields, is standing on a foundation of energy. So, what's the foundation that energy is standing on? What grounds the ground of all being? Now that is a question that takes us to the absolute edge of what we know, and it's the perfect place to leave you thinking. Thanks so much for joining me today.